Call meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record reflect that all members are present except for Director Forty. This is a special meeting, so we have only what's on the agenda. There's no public input. So let's start with 4.0, Chicagami lease.
This isn't something new. I haven't changed it since the last time I showed it to you. The only thing that you might want to, if you're considering this, you might want to talk about, because I have month to month in here, and there's been tossed around if it should be a year, month to month, whatever. We can talk about that. The $2,600 per month covers what we believe to be the utilities and insurance for last year. Obviously, last year was a light winter, so we do have an escalator clause in there in case natural gas prices go up. And it also entails payment for any type of maintenance that will be billed as needed. So there you go. It's all you.
I would like to say that, I mean, if this is something we're really going to do under number 2, is that the month-to-month basis
Yeah.
for it? I mean, and we could probably leave that language in there, but I mean, at the very least, I think we have to have some kind of expiration. I mean, we can't just say month-to-month indefinitely. I would like to see, maybe at the end of that sentence, add to expire like June 30th, 2017, just so we have an expiration, other than it'll just last forever. And that's, right.
Yeah, we don't need to have it last forever.
No, and
We're
then,
hoping that this will maybe push or enhance or stimulate people to go on and get this thing done finally.
We say that every year.
I know, but this is the closest we've ever gone to it, and right now, we've got so much else on our plate with doing the study on the buildings and the district and everything else that we don't have time to be fighting this one too.
and I almost recommend that we look at number 11, and I think we got to increase that, honestly.
Oh, that's
I
the
mean,
2,600?
it's no dig on the administration, but I mean, the last 2.5 years I've been here, that number has changed so much from, I think I've seen it as high as $3,300 a month. I've seen it $2,800 a month, and now I've seen it $2,600 a month, and I think
We use just the numbers that were provided to us, and I don't have a date on here, but
yeah, and I didn't
at
bring
one
my
of our meetings, this was the number at that
32,
time.
yeah. And that's what I was saying, is that should be, I mean, I think this is a nice gestured rate, but I think and I would have liked to err on the side of caution that, I mean, maybe we raise that up to like $2,800 or $3,000 a month. Just because, I mean, best guess, we all know the best guess here is heating, right? I mean, we're doing
That's
it
the variable.
right, and I'm willing to bet that that building is less efficient than our regular structures.
Yeah.
So
Who's paying for this?
Hmm?
Who's paying for it?
Chicagami. We're not.
No, but we've heard that there's
IRRB is
They'll-
subsidy and other things
Subsidized.
going on.
Not-
Have we heard?
Not to us, though. They have applied for a grant to the IRRB
Through-
to,
Okay.
through Chicagami.
But
right.
this,
We don't
yeah.
have anything to do with it.
Okay.
We just collect the check.
Well, but my question is, do we have any indication that they will be able to come up with the funds to pay this? Because they have indicated on more than one occasion that they didn't think they could afford much more than what they had been paying.
Yeah,
So no matter what number we plug in there, are you getting the impression that that money will be there?
yes.
Okay.
But, I mean, I guess that's to their own detriment. If
No,
they-
I
if they
understand
don't.
that, but I mean, I don't want to even go through the exercise
Right.
of generating another lead,
No, I get it,
because
but,
they're the ones who told us they don't have the money, so.
and I get that, but we were asked if we would consider it if our costs were covered, and I guess that's what we're considering it, if our costs are covered.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's a comfortable number that everyone's comfortable with as far as a
I'm
lease?
comfortable at 28.
I mean, I would
I'd
just,
rather see.
I would suggest number 2, we add to expire June 30th, 2017 at the end of that. And under number 11, we change $2,600 to $3,000 and move forward and see if Chickagami accepts it. And if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. I mean,
So what, when you talk about month to month,
well, maybe we could strike.
hopefully that this sunsets then
Right.
the end of June of 2017. We've never had a lease, they've never followed it as it is. We've had extension after extension after extension, and there's all these promises, and there's all this stuff that gets fed to us. There's been every excuse under the sun. Everybody and their uncle is somehow going to bail them out, which never happens.
Right.
What do we do at the end of June of 2017? What do you anticipate if this goes forward happening at that point?
I anticipate nothing today. I mean, last year, this is the conundrum we're in. Last year,
right.
we had a letter of support from the city of Evlith. And that's what kind of coerced us.
To extend it,
maybe
right.
a negative word, but it
Right.
got us to suggest extending the lease.
Mhm.
And actually, I think that was where they wanted it to the December 2016, because that's when they would have their facility done, and we know how that
Yeah.
turned out.
But
But at this stage, I mean, it's basically on the whim that that they'll pay the cost of the structure, because,
Right.
I mean,
And even if it goes beyond 2017 into 2018, as long as they're paying the full amount.
well,
No.
I'm not looking at that.
No,
here's where I'm really
That
coming from.
defeats the purpose. If we're looking at this going
Longer, it's not gonna
past the
happen.
date that's already been discussed, which, again, I'm understanding you intended to be sunsetting at the end of June of 2017.
That's just that we have
With
to
the
put an
understanding
expiration
that it
date.
can- Yes, with the
Yeah.
understanding
Right.
that it can be revisited,
Right.
but, no, I don't even want to have a conversation about going into 18, because
I mean, my
this has
biggest,
dragged on way too long.
my
already.
biggest concern of this whole conversation is that, we dreamed a little bit and thought that we would do something with that property, whether that was the building or not. I mean, at the stage that we're at now, I mean, with our budget, with our finances, with our royalty money, we're in no position to do anything with that property.
No.
Whether that building's there, I mean, I don't even see us using money to tear that building down because we're not in a financial situation.
I don't think we can. At this point, we've got a building
And
that needs a
I know
roof.
some want to just tear it down and make a parking lot, but I don't think we should waste what little bit of reserves we have even doing that.
No,
What's the
Right.
notification period?
60
for,
days.
60-day notice.
And that was on both parties, right? 'Cause it
Mhm.
would be
Yes,
a
both
month-to-month
parties.
basis, 60 days.
and
And are
hope-
we going to be excoriated at that point if that should come about and we give a 60-day notice? Let's say that we exercise that option. Are we going to go through what we did this time? This time we gave almost 7 months.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
we were called the bad guys, that we were putting them out of business and we had caused some dramatic harm to someone. So with 60 days, it's going to be even worse.
I agree.
How are we going to do this now? And no one understood, and we didn't know, and it's all top secret. And I mean, I'm fine with us going forward on this, but I don't think we're any further ahead than we've ever been.
well, hopefully with the new board there, they might take some more interest and actually try to get this thing done. I
Oh,
hope.
I mean, I fully agree that we're not any further than we are, other than the fact that we might be able to cover our costs.
Yeah.
That would help.
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
financial incentive versus an empathetic incentive for me. I mean, whether
But I
that's
think
right or
it-
wrong, I mean,
But I think we have to make it clear that this board has done everything they can to be fair in
This and many other boards,
notification.
right?
Yes,
And
yes.
as we've moved forward.
Many other
we-
boards.
Yes.
Absolutely, we've made every effort to be good partners in this, and that needs to be from both sides. And if, at this point, if this lease does not extend beyond June of 17, everyone knows today.
But there's an expiration date,
So
right?
I don't want to hear anywhere down the line that we run out of time or they haven't found a place or there's some other crisis or some other issue. I also think that we need to exercise, the federal government, in order to be a 501c3, has certain dictates. One of those is that upon request, anyone, and it's public information, can obtain their 1023 or their letter of exemption. 3 years of the 990s.
We should probably have some of that. just
And
for-
we've asked for that, we've never seen it. So I would like to see that we get that information, so that the board can see it too, and see how much of what we've heard has any accuracy to it. So I'd like to see a letter of exemption, I'd like to see at least 3 years of 990s.
I don't have a problem with that, I think
I
we
agree.
should.
And that's,
It's
Technically public information anyway, I agree.
for as long as we've been, the landlords, if you want to call it that, which we have been. I don't know if we've ever seen it.
no, and it's been asked for, but, there've been a variety of issues in
If we could,
obtaining it. But I will make the request again that we get a copy of a letter of exemption and 3 years of 990s. And it has to be the most recent year and going back for a total of 3.
You want to make that a formal motion?
Yes, I do.
To suggest that? I'll support it.
Would that motion also include?
Well, we can separate that
Contract?
separately.
No,
maybe.
We can do it
I wanna
separately?
make sure that it's,
Okay.
that's
I
a
just wanna
different
know.
piece.
I just want to know.
So do you want to make a formal motion on that?
I will make it a formal
Motion by Mona
that
Putzel,
we-
second by Mr. Mike Peterson.
So, want to say it again? What do you want? Oh,
And this is, again, this is based on the federal rules, compliance guide for 501c3s, that we obtain the exemption ruling letter and 3 years of 990s per the IRS rulings. And that means the most recent year filed and the 2 years previous to that.
Okay,
and those are basically IRS documents, right?
That's, yes.
yeah, we have a motion and a second. I'll wait to see if Jeff is done.
I am, I'm good.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I just have one question. I see the effective date is the first day of July. Actually, when was this drafted up, this agreement? Today is the 7th
Of June.
of June. Yeah. But when
But
was
the other one doesn't
The
expire
other one doesn't
until the
expire
30th.
until the end of June.
We have
No,
a,
but just
So this
the
would be-
draft of it.
What's the difference?
It's
Well,
this,
The old, but
Yeah.
the old contract, the old
Yeah.
lease expires 3 weeks
Yeah.
from now.
No, I was just saying, well, sit here right now to read through it and, to get all the input out of it
Okay?
at the table. I would like to see it a day or two in advance.
this was in our last board packet.
there isn't much, the only thing changes
It's
what
the
we,
same
Agreement
one.
was
We
in the
asked-
board
It's the same
packet.
one,
yeah, it was in the board packet last time.
We,
Yeah, I
we've
just,
seen,
I
we've
just
seen
made
this,
copies so that,
Yeah.
in case somebody didn't bring them.
we've seen this, at least in this draft, I mean,
Oh.
you've specifically asked for questions on this 2 meetings ago? I mean, we've had this exact
Yeah.
draft for the last,
It's just, this
3
is
months?
different simply because we changed the date and how it's going to be for 1 year and the amount of rent per month from 2,600 to
yeah, I mean,
3,000.
I have the
Everything
one,
else is the same on it.
I have the one from, I wrote on here October. It's the same draft that we've had it.
I think the only conversations we've had were
Mm-hmm.
the amount of time for notice and
Right. But I mean, but
dollar
that,
amount, but the draft itself is identical.
yeah, that 30 versus 60, Leon brought up at one of our meetings, but
Yeah.
it's still been the same language. We've never made any changes since. I mean, we just discussed it. So,
So that they have to review this with the revisions right now and agree with it,
Mhm.
if they're gonna accept it.
I mean, that's on them too.
This is what I was talking about, Mike. It
It's
was
just the dollar
sent
amount.
to us by Jeff. It shows that amount, that 32, 35.
Right.
That's what I was going by.
Okay. Okay. Well, to move things along, I'll make a motion that we accept the Chicagami lease
I
with
thought
the
we did
change.
that. We didn't do that?
Nope.
With the-
That
with-
was just for the formal
That was just for the
request of
formal
the-
request of things.
Their
That
nonprofit
990.
documents.
Effective
Got it.
ending date of 6/30/2017.
No,
Six-
I think that needs to be reworded, because this is month to month, and so I think it's,
All right, okay,
So I
this
don't know.
is, I'm sorry, I was just looking at my notes wrong. That it should start effective July 1st, 2016 through 6/30/17, correct?
well,
That's
You
what we
don't
were
want-
talking
you
about.
don't
that
Or
isn't
you
really
want,
the case either, because if we're month to month,
Well, that's just said, you don't want the month-to-month language in there?
you don't want them?
yes, I do want
Oh.
month to month, but what
Oh.
I'm saying is then you can't say that it for certain will go through, you don't want the motion to say that we're guaranteeing anything to the end of June of 2017
I-
if something should
Well,
change.
that's what- that's
If
what-
it's
I-
month to
I
month, it's
misunder-
one or the other.
I
Well, and that's
misunderstood.
what I,
you.
that's what
Okay.
I said, that we could add, to expire June 30th, 2017, is that the agreement expires 2017,
Okay.
not that
Okay.
not that we go that long,
So-
you know what I'm saying?
Right, so can you suggest wording so that that's clear in the motion?
Well, that's what
Well,
I mean, if we just wrote it like this, and to continue on a month-to-month basis to expire June 30th, 2017, I mean, to me, that means that this agreement won't extend past that, and it doesn't mean that it has to, because we're still month to
That's
month.
my concern, that I
Okay.
don't want any guarantee that it
I
goes
misunderstood
that
you
long,
about
that-
changing to a one-year lease.
Well, we
But I
could,
understand that we can still keep it at the month to month, but it will
Well,
expire on,
let's-
But we're not going to
let's
guarantee
take a-
this document past that.
let's take a step back, maybe, can we stick the duration on the first paragraph? And leave, you know what I'm saying, where it says, this agreement entered into this first day of July 2016 by da-da-da-da-da. To expire, at the end of that paragraph, put to expire June 30th, 2017 there. So then you're leaving that month language in there in, you know, the paragraph 2, but you're putting the expiration up.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
I know
just
what
get
you're
an
saying.
expiration
I
date
think
in
we all
there.
understand, but I think we all
We need
know
to-
based
we need to
on
get-
past
we need to get it
experience
worded right.
that we,
It's the wording.
that if the wording isn't completely accurate,
to expire July 1st or June 30th?
June 30th.
June
But
30th.
maybe we just add that to the top paragraph, so
Yep.
then we leave that
2017,
terms alone, I guess you'd say.
okay.
Because
Okay.
we're entering into the agreement on paragraph 1, but then we're expiring it. You know what I'm saying? We're starting and stopping in that paragraph. Does that make
And it'll
sense?
still be a month-to-month basis,
Yeah, on item
but
number
the
2.
expiration date will be
Does our
on
superintendent
June
have a
30th,
suggestion?
2017.
That's fine. It's fine up here.
Is that from the stenographer or the superintendent?
I got them both ways.
Okay. Well, I'll change my motion,
Or maybe we add another sentence in there saying, this agreement begins July 1st, 2017 and expires June 30th, 2016 and expires June 30th, 2017 in its own sentence, and then we just leave the rest of the wording alone. It's one or the other. I mean,
Yeah,
to me,
I-
it all means the same. I mean, but I logistically understand what you're saying. You could come at it from different angles.
yeah.
and we've had enough people play games with language that I don't want to have anything unclear for any of our benefit, either side. Everyone needs to know where they stand.
So, you want a separate sentence in here?
Well,
And
it was a
added?
suggestion. I mean, I think it would make it clear that that's the duration of the lease.
That should be a separate paragraph after the initial opening one? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, after leasee, another paragraph saying. Well, let me
This
see.
agreement is to expire?
I didn't catch that part. That's, both of us are saying that.
We're trying to figure out how
How
to
to
do
word
a
it right so it,
a definitive duration. Do we, after leasee?
You don't need another paragraph, just put Entered on
expire.
this first day of July 2016 to expire June 30th, 2017.
In that first paragraph.
Right,
Yeah.
first sentence, yeah.
Okay,
Just
there you
add it
go.
right in there,
That's-
okay.
That's why I had to defer to the superintendent. See, I think you had just an
I just had to spin around in the seat though.
You'll see which hat you're wearing at the moment.
So we're going to put that, we're going to enter it into this agreement first day of July 2016. And what did language?
To
To
expire
expire
To
June-
expire
June
June
30th,
30th, 2017.
2017.
June 30th, 2017.
By in between, blah, 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 blah.
And
blah.
then I would also ask the chair, since he's trying to make the motion.
Well, you can make the motion, you got it worded right.
Okay. Well,
I know what we're talking about, I don't word it right.
okay,
You
then
do.
if Keith will rescind his motion
No,
that he
there's
started.
there's no second, I
Okay.
withdraw my motion.
Um,
It's easier.
I would like to make a motion that we extend the lease to Chickagami based on this, with the addition of, for the first paragraph to read, this agreement entered into the first day of July 2016 to expire June 30th, 2017 by and between Independent School District Number 2154, a municipal corporation, hereinafter referred to as district, and the Chickagami Children's Center, a Minnesota nonprofit corporation, hereinafter referred to as leasee.
That might have been the longest motion in the history of motions. huh?
Well, that's not it. And then I would
He's
also,
not done.
I would also like to change number 11 to reflect a $3,000 per payment
Per month.
agreement
Per month,
per month.
yeah.
And
And that should cover the cost. And there is an escalator clause in case natural gas goes crazy.
Yep.
I'll second your motion, too.
thank you, Keith.
But there is that escalator clause in there. So.
It's in 11 as well.
Yeah,
It's
but
in
I mean,
there.
I mean, but we still want an
Yeah.
escalator clause on top of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we need that's a fixed number, and then
Yeah.
everything from that goes up, so.
Right.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Did you get that, Mr. Stenographer?
I got that.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Oop, 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 oop. Wait a minute here now. Now you're gonna have to slow down.
More typing for him. I'll see.
Who was the second one?
Keith.
Or I did.
So that was to the lease. This was to formal requests of documents.
All right.
And Mona was the no vote.
Yep, I got that.
Okay, moving on. Building Study Cooperative with the City of Evel, 510.
All right, you can see I printed off a memo that was passed on to me. This is from Whitney Ridlin of the IRRB, offering up a grant to the city of $3,800 to study the junior high building and determine if it is structurally sound. And you can see 1, 2, 3, the requirements. One, they need a resolution from the city of Evelyn to apply for and accept the funds. 2, the scope of work and the cost. Our part is they need consent from the school district for a professional to access the building and conduct the assessments. That's what you're discussing tonight.
How did the city get in the middle of it when it's our building? I'm just curious what the process is there.
I don't know.
Can I give my 2 cents?
We have an offer now?
Yes, I should go fix that.
Okay.
Do a brief pause, or?
Well, you could.
Go ahead.
I was told that this was a request from the mayor to the IRRB to grant a feasibility of that property.
But again, it's not his building to concern himself with.
No, I mean, I agree.
I mean, that's my question.
Nope, I completely agree. My only thing is I'm to the point where I don't care if the city of Evlith wants to see if there's a feasible thing for that property and it can be not a burden to our school district. I'm all for it at this stage. I mean, that's my,
What, for them to purchase the building?
No,
just
just
to
to
study it.
Just
study
to
it.
study it?
Do a feasibility, and if they think they want it, let's have that conversation too, and so it's not a burden to us at all. I mean,
Yeah,
This is not a feasibility study, it's a structural assessment.
right. But I mean, they want to go through the motions to see if it's structurally sound from the way I understand it, to see if it could be repurposed. And nobody wants ownership of it, is what I hear. I mean, I think it's a wasted exercise, but I mean, you know what? They can
do
let
it.
them take their pitchforks away, I guess, and go into motion for a while, and when they come back, when they got something else, I guess. But I'm past fighting about adults about ridiculous things, and I think I'm starting to, we're more worried about, we have kids to worry
We've
about.
got other
not
things to
about-
worry
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
so.
I don't see the harm in it at this stage. Do you have something to say, Tom?
We're not gonna do nothing with the building right now anyway, and we don't have the funding to demolish it. If we give this lease to Chickamauga, they're gonna be occupying it, and this originally was set out on April 25th from the mayor to the school district, April 25th for this year. And then this is a follow-up from the city, and I can see where they're coming from too, is if the building is structurally sound, we're looking at possibly putting a veterans home in there, or the trauma center, or I can see where the city would like to put it back on the tax rolls, rather than knock it down and make a parking lot.
Where,
So I could see that
what
part.
assurance do we have about the vet's home and?
That's still
trauma
in the
center?
making yet. It's in the making.
Well, who's we on that? That's,
Yeah.
That's with,
Who's making those decisions? Where's that coming from?
that is being looked at by Congressman Nolan.
I mean, I would assume that we would have some
Yeah.
kind of correspondence
That's
from
funny,
him.
because the board never
Well, it's in the making,
authorized
yes.
that, but
Yeah, like I said, we're not gonna do nothing with the building right now anyway, and we don't have the funding, so actually, what we're looking at is just looking at a little more time to come up with a use.
Well, let's make a decision to do this or not, because if we can sit here and hash this out all night, and we're not gonna get anywhere.
I mean, I would just like to make a suggestion to the city of Evlith and whatever group of people that are involved in this, that I don't know why everything has to be a secret meeting at the IRRB or a background meeting at the city. Why don't people just come to us and say, hey, we have some ideas, let's see if we can make them work? I mean, I mean, the only one that feels like, I mean, it's the school's property, but it's everybody else's, they think they own it? You know, I mean.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
not a big fan of them constantly skipping the proper steps. You gotta come, it's our building, come to us first. Maybe there would be
With ideas.
with
Yeah.
ideas
I mean,
and.
Yeah.
Tom keeps replying to we and we and we, and I don't know any of the we's, and why aren't we a part of the conversation? I mean, don't you think it would be more clout for the school to go to Congressman Nolan and say, hey, we are, you know, we have an $11 million budget, we're, an institution of the community, we would like to repurpose a building. Don't you think that would still have a little bit more clout than a couple fanatical pitchfork public members trying to poke people when they're not looking, you know? I mean, I just think it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, if you have ideas, great, but I mean, why poke people in their backside to make them do things?
The letter dating back to April 25th, bottom line, the city would assist the school district in exploring redevelopment options which would be of benefit to the residents of the city and of the school district. So this letter was sent out on the 25th,
And at that time, we weren't interested in addressing that. That's
but
all.
we never got together with the city and set a meeting
It's 'cause
together.
we didn't want, we
Have
didn't
they ever
want
come
That's the
and-
thing we gotta do, we gotta get together with the city and kick this thing around.
The mayor's never come to one of our school board members' meetings since I've been here that I recall.
No, I haven't seen Bob here.
Well, is it out of the question for us to set a date of the next meeting and have the representatives of the school, of the city come up, the mayor or whatever?
It absolutely is out of
And,
line right now.
And if he wants
And
to,
that's-
we have to,
Well,
Either accept this or
The
return-
question on the table is they wanna,
yes,
the IRRB wants to grant $3,800 to
Study
Do a
the building.
structural assessment of the building. That's it. So I mean, either yay or nay.
I mean, my 2 cents is why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a
Say we go
motion,
for it.
make a motion that we follow through on this and let the city do what they want with this, with the IRRB, and we'll give them access to the building.
I'll second that motion.
Anyone else? Discussion? Okay,
I would just like the city to,
keep us in the loop.
well, I mean, not even keep us in the loop, partner up with us.
Partner up or
I
something.
mean,
Well, that's what the mayor's letter is asking for, so maybe they will.
this isn't the mayor, this is the IRRB. I mean,
Yeah.
from what I understand, they're all in support of this, but there's no drivers. The city don't want it, but the mayor wants it. The council don't want it, and the administrator. I mean, nobody wants it, but everybody wants to save, you know, what I mean? It's the same
Everybody
thing with the
wants-
Northland building, but
Everybody wants to save the building, but nobody wants to.
nobody wants to take ownership of it.
Yeah. Anyhow, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Motion carries. 6.0, Stephen Close resignation. I understand that Mr. Close found another job offer, southern part of the state, I believe,
Yes.
and he wants to resign his teaching position. So, need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion that we accept his resignation.
I'll support it.
Motion by Peterson, second by Sean Lub, with a letter of thanks for his years of service and good luck. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.